Good afternoon and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be talking about the Bumblebee movie concept art Sunstreaker, the new studio series figure released back in July. I finally managed to find one on the shelves, and I actually had the money to get it. So, being a Sunstreaker and being one of my favorite Transformers out there, I always try to pick up a Sunstreaker when I can, and I do enjoy Sunstreaker. I like his attitude, I like his way of life, I just like Sunstreaker. He was a fun Autobot, and I've always appreciated how he seems to be one of those, I don't know, like a fashion model that ended up having to fight in a war, and that's kind of what I get from Sunstreaker. He was a fashion model, for lack of a better term. Like, the guy loves his appearance. He's exactly like Narcissus from Greek legend. That is what Sunstreaker is. Very similar to Narcissus, and it's I don't know. I've just enjoyed that aspect of Transformers, and I've enjoyed that personality in amongst the Autobots. Somebody who is very, very big on their own appearance, but at the same time, loves their friends and their family and tries to do their best to help them. Um, Even if it does scuff the paint from every now and then, he does get upset at that. He still will scuff his paint for a friend. And coming from a person like Sunstreaker, or a robot like Sunstreaker, that's a pretty big thing. He doesn't scuff his paint for just anything. So today I've got Earthrise Sunstreaker and concept art Sunstreaker, the only two Sunstreakers in my collection. And I also have Cliffjumper here to do a little size comparison. So let's take a look at Cliffjumper compared to old Sunstreaker from Earthrise. The Cliffjumper's head goes right to this fun little I don't know, V-neck that the Earthrise Sunstreaker has on his chest, right below his head. And here on the Studio Series Sunstreaker, the head for Bumblebee, not Bumblebee, Cliffjumper here comes up to the edge of Cliffjumper's collarbone. So there is a big difference. Shoulder-wise, Cliffjumper's shoulder goes to the elbow of Sunstreaker here. Let's raise that arm up to better, yep, to the elbow. And on Earthrise Sunstreaker, let's raise your arm up so we can get a good idea. And you go to below the elbow by about a Lego stud. All right, so that's kind of the difference with Sunstreaker and them. And I enjoy using Sunstreaker in my size comparisons because he's the smallest deluxe class Autobot. And I enjoy comparing these things to the smallest version so that you, my listeners and my viewers, can get a better understanding of how everything is bigger than that. It's good to have a standard, and Cliffjumper, Earthrise, Bumblebee, they're my standard for size comparisons. It's always important when you're doing these things to have a standard. So let's go ahead and compare Sunstreaker to Sunstreaker back to back. Earthrise Sunstreaker is a lot taller than Studio Series Sunstreaker, which is really odd. Like, Studio Series Sunstreaker, the top of his head goes to Earthrise Sunstreaker's collarbone, and Earthrise Sunstreaker is really tall in comparison. And let's compare their shoulders. Yeah, Earthrise, you're so much bigger. So let's set Earthrise over here off to the side next to the Transformers 1 emblem, and let's talk about this Studio Series concept art Sunstreaker. Let's pull out his guns first, because unlike Earthrise Sunstreaker, who came with a jetpack, this Sunstreaker actually comes with weapons, and that's fun. I like the two weapons. They can combine together. That is a thing that I enjoy whenever weapons can do this. I do wish that there was some more siege ports or pegs on them so that you could change their orientation a little bit. And they had these two little phalanges that come out on either end. They're tiny, but they're actually for sticking this guy into vehicle mode on the rear of the vehicle, so he can have all these guns pointed over the roof of his vehicle. It's pretty neat. I don't understand why they couldn't just use the siege ports, but then again, I do kind of get it. So in Siege Sideswipe, they had these cool siege ports that were rectangular. They held the siege peg in them, but since they were rectangular, they allowed the gun to move up and down, to actually like shift a little bit in that area, still holding it in very well, but allowing the gun to move up and allowing the gun to move down. That's a feature I would have liked to have seen in this character, but sadly that's not what we got. But the guns here are really nice. There's very little Actually, other than the area where the hand fits in, there's no waffling in here or negative space. It's all really nice. You got these really well textured guns, some nice little sleek armor on the backs of them, and overall, I give the guns a good positive rating. I think those are fun accessories to have, and you can have them in many different ways. So let's talk about this robot mode, and then we'll talk about its pros and cons, what I like and dislike about it. So we'll start from the bottom because I do like starting from the feet. We'll go underneath and discover this guy doesn't have waffling under his feet. His feet are solid, which is a really nice thing. We don't come across that many Transformers that have such solid feet. So that's cool. Coming up here, we've got this really cool bit of armor where you can feel like the interior robot textures here for his leg, but then this armor panel is folded over, and I like the armor panel. It just adds a little bit of extra flair. It folds over to give his knees kind of a pointy look, but it feels stylish and sleek in my opinion. I like how these armor panels fold around on him. They do make Sunstreaker here just seemed to be more of a warrior type than his Earthrise mode. Coming up here to his arms, or actually still on his legs, let's talk about his thighs. Coming around here, we've got a little bit of texturing on his thighs, but not much texturing on his thighs, sadly. Though his thighs now, so his feet, we'll talk about that too, have the simple back and forth wiggle, and they can move up because of transformation and move back just a little bit. His knees don't even pull a 90. They pull almost a 90, but there's this weird like circle wheel thing on the back of his leg that is part of the vehicle mode. I do wish that it was it was just a smidge smaller. If it was just a smidge smaller, then or these legs were just a smidge taller, then you could actually fold his knee a little bit better. That's a bit of a sad piece on that end. Coming up further, his crotch area's got some decent sculpt work into it. Nothing to write home about. On the back end, we've got that little peg hole, so you can put him on a flight stand if you want. I like it that every Transformer seems to have one of those in the crotch area. That really does help out. Now, moving up here to the chest, we've got a fun-feeling chest here for him. His chest has got all sorts of different textures and layouts because it's supposed to be the part of the front windshield and roof of his vehicle mode, and it does come out very well as a chest. I love this little sleek bit in the center for the windshield. This is a fun chest. I like his chest sculpt here, though I do wish the transformation for it was a little better, and there was actually something a little sturdier to clip into for that. That is my biggest negative with this guy is there's just a lack of tabbage going on here. Like you can, there it goes. Yeah, I got it clipped in now. There's a little tab right there right above the groin area, and it clips into place. But that's only one of them, and it doesn't stay in. It just unclipped itself while I was talking to you, and it just unclipped itself again. Good grief. This thing is not great about staying clicked in together. And for some reason, I don't understand. His body itself seems to be leaning forward by like 5 degrees. It's odd. I don't really get why he needs to lean forward just a little bit. And you can feel it in the waist and stuff, how that leaning forward. Because if you spin him 180 degrees, now he's leaning backwards. It's weird that that is on such an odd joint. It's just very odd to me that that's the case. And also very weird in my opinion is how his crotch area seems to bulge out a bit, like gives me Labyrinth vibes, the Goblin King from that movie Labyrinth. That's the vibe I'm getting from his crotch there. Very weird. Rest in peace, David Bowie. Now moving on over here to his shoulders. Well, actually, on his back, we got a very sleek backpack with 2 siege pegs, which is really nice. We don't get 2 on the back very often, but I do appreciate this sleek backpack. This is really nice and really well done. Moving on to his arms, because his arms are probably one of my favorite parts about him. I mean, other than the fact they are a bit derpy, they needed to be either longer in the upper arm or longer in the forearm, but his arms do feel derpy to me. It's just, but at the same time, they feel awesome because of these, you got this collapsed armor on his forearm from the transformation from vehicle mode. It feels like it's just extra armor that he's wearing. And then you have this pauldron, this big pauldron that's part of transformation that folds over his upper arm, and I love it. I love everything about this guy, but his size. He just feels like he needed an extra 5% on size. He just seems a little small. And moving over here onward, let's see. So texture wise, his shoulder pauldrons are big armored textured feeling things. He's got that wheel in his just below them. He's got an elbow here hidden in amongst all the stuff. And then we got a bunch of smooth armor texturing for his forearm, and his hand has got the basic hand texturing. And moving up here to his head is small. It's very small compared to Earthrise Sunstreaker's head. I don't like how small the concept art Bumblebee Sunstreaker's head is. His little cool flaps on the other side of his head are very squeezed in. I wish they were a bit wider. And his head just seems a bit small to me. Its dimensions are wrong. Overall, it's got good textures to it and great sculpt work, but at the same time, it just feels a little wrong. Like I get Sunstreaker's head here from Earthrise, and this head is just glorious. It's just a glorious head. You got these cool little ear panels, and there's even a bit of vent action going on in there. Wait, am I showing you his head forwards or backwards? I'm not showing you his head backwards. Oh my god. There we go. That's the correct way. Yeah, there's the vents going on either side of his head. I like Sunstreaker's head. It's a fun one to feel, and it's just not the same with concept art Sunstreaker here. I like a lot about him, but I don't like the head. I don't like how derpy the arms are, and I don't like the fact that the legs seem to be a little too short. Like his core body is also a little short. Like I said, he just feels like they should have given an extra 5% to size. He's almost amazing. He's almost a 10 out of 10, and that's the almost part. So overall rating of this guy, well, actually, we're going to count siege ports. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then none around on the legs. I think there are some hiding around on the arms. Yeah, there's 5 and 6 on the upper arms, hidden underneath the little shoulder pauldrons, and then 7 and 8. He's only got 8 siege ports available in robot mode. Not a big number, but you know what? For a Studio Series toy, that is a very large number of siege ports. So I'll give it to him for being Studio Series and still managing to siege port it out. And yeah, my overall rating of concept art Sunstreaker is going to be an 8 out of 10. I think that, and this is the robot mode rating, mind you. I think that this robot mode could be better, but it is a really good robot mode as is. It just needed to be in the oven just a bit longer, I think. And they needed to stretch him out a bit. He just seems a little squished. He's just a little smushed. Anyway, I've been Blind Prime, and this has been Concept Art Sunstreaker. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please tune in tomorrow for our Blindformers episode, where I will be verbally instructing you on how to transform Concept Art Sunstreaker here from their robot mode into their vehicle mode, and then I'll give the transformation a grade of 1 through 10. I love grading the transformation separately from the robot mode, which I also grade separately from the vehicle mode, because I personally believe that all aspects of a transformer, all of its modes, and the ability to go between modes are all individual toys in and of themselves. And I think it's important to break them down like that so that we can get a better idea of what the engineers are working for. So please tune in tomorrow. I'll go over the transformation and review it for you. And also, the nice verbal transformation in case you can't see the instruction pamphlet like I can't see the instruction pamphlet. And then on Thursday, before my dentist appointment, I'm going to go over the vehicle mode. All right, well, thank you all so much for watching today's video. I've been Blind Prime. This big sleeping orange blob over here in the corner has been Cream the Cat. Who's a good cream? Who's a good cream? Who's a good cream? Huh? Yeah? Yeah? You're a good cat. Yes, you are. Thank you. Thanks again for watching. Until next Prime. Bye-bye for now.